Hi guys, how are you? In this series of videos, we are talking about the different celebrations that we nowadays celebrate, yes, in our cultures, in our countries, and what's the origin from them, yes, and what does it have to do with the truth, and what is, yes, really wanting to embrace what's truth. So today's video will be talking about the three wise men, as they're popularly known. Yes, and where does this celebration come from? Yes, the January the 6th, and who determined this? Yes, and we can see that the origin of this was determined by Saint Augustine. Yes, he was the one that said that they visited 13 days after Christmas, of the 25th of December, and this was determined, yes, in the fourth or fifth century. Yes. Okay, try to investigate how is that Saint Augustine get to this date. I couldn't get into much. I couldn't find anywhere in how he got that it was 13 days exactly after that Jesus was born. Okay, but by trying to find out, I could see that other authors, other people relate that at that time, at this date, there was the feast of Demetrius, of Ion, yes, two different gods, and that they had this celebration on this date, and maybe it was this synchronization of these celebrations and of this occurrence. In this celebration, there is a round cake, yes, where they put different fruits or different things that is very traditional at this moment, and they hide inside an egg or a baby Jesus figure, yes. And at this moment, what we can understand the origin of this probably comes from France. Yes, in the 12th century, there was a very similar situation, but with another, yes, pagan origin, where they put a different fruit, and it comes with a very similar sense of the king of Saturnalia. Yes, we shared that in another video, and where whoever received the portion of that cake with that piece, he was the king for that day. Yes, and that was, yes, has the same origin of this. For example, in Mexico, whoever gets this fruit within this cake has to take care, yes, of baby Jesus till the day of the Virgin Mary of Candelaria. That's the February the 2nd. Yes, and that's something that's done over in Mexico. This particular belief or tradition is something more related to the Spanish-speaking community. It's something that's born in France and Spanish and throughout the world. It's something that hasn't spread really much in the English community. Yes. There's a lots of beliefs that have been added up in time. Yes, first stating that what we know now as three, and how we know there are three, and there's a supposition just because there are three presents that there were three wise men. Yes, also, and but in sometimes there were 12. They believed there were 12, and other times they would believe there were 60. Yes, and the origin of the names and from where these wise men came, there is apocryph book of the child of Jesus that comes from Armenia, and there is written something about this. Yes, and there's also another historian in the 9th century that he states and he writes about this a little bit, and we can see the origin of this information that comes from here. Yes, when we can see that this wise men and this figure, this particular word in Greek comes from, yes, the Babylon community, and we can see all this word be repeated a lot in the book of Daniel. Yes, remember he was part of this wise men that were in for counseling. Yes, the king in different matters, and they were people that understood in different subjects. Yes, in astrology, in sciences, also in, yes, in witchcraft and different things, and they gave advice. Yes, so what we could infer, we could believe that Daniel saw something in the spirit that he received a revelation and wrote that down in another book, yes, not in the book of Daniel, and he left, yes, those signs, yes, and these people just came from these locations that followed, yes, his writings, and just recognized the signs and the star, and just came and honor the Son of God. Okay. There's very little written about this, and the only book of Matthew. Yes, in chapter 2, we see a brief interchange about these wise men and how they what they did. Now, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he who has born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose and have to come to worship him." When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring the word, that I too may come and worship him." After listening to the king, they went on their way. And behold, the star that they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. Another thing that we could see that the tradition has its hero also is that placing the wise men together with the shepherds in, yes, with Jesus just born. Yes, as Saint Augustine said, it was just only 13 days. And we can see in the light of, or again, in Matthew 2:16, we can read, "Then Herod, when he saw that he had been tricked by the wise men, became furious, and he sent and killed all the male children in Bethlehem and all in the region who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had ascertained from the wise men when the star appeared." Okay, and this same consultation, this same uh, questioning that Herod also appears in the previous passage, in how he wants to know how big is he. Yes, and he goes and kills everyone under 2 years. So we can infer that there was time that happened. Yes, not just because there was just 2 years, yes, since the appearance of the star. We can maybe infer that Herod exaggerated just to be sure and just in case. Yes, as he not only killed in Bethlehem but also around the region. We can assume maybe he added a little more time just to be sure and just in case. But even so, we are talking at least several months, I guess, in how to prepare this, having to account that they were not waiting with everything prepared to do this journey. the stars simply appeared, and they had for then recognize it and starting preparing for all this trip. And we have to know that it was a long trip, yes, and all the time and organization that this required also. So these wise men didn't coincide exactly with the shepherds, and it didn't took them 13 days to do all this journey and preparation. So, in the idea of this series is, yes, to expose, to look and to embrace the truth, and maybe to expose everything that it are traditions that are pagan, that are just inventions, that are just adding up into what we believe that is true. Yes. So this is the purpose of this video, to shed light of this and recognize, yes, what is really truth, and what is was just invented. Okay, so we hope that this was good for you, and God bless you. Peace. Bye.